A new beginning. A year after being cast aside, Lola met Chinedu. He was a wealthy businessman who owned several companies in the city. Like Simeon, he was educated, but unlike Simeon, he was kind and humble. Chinedu had been visiting Lola's village for a project, and one day, he saw her while she was fetching water at a riverbank. Captivated by her beauty, he struck up a conversation. To his surprise, he found Lola intelligent and insightful. Despite a lack of formal education, Chinedu was drawn to her warmth, resilience, and gentle nature. Over the months, they became close, and eventually, he asked her to marry him. This time, Lola was afraid. She feared Chinedu would treat her like Simeon did. That her lack of education would once again be a source of torment. But Chinedu was different. He had done her for who she was and promised to support her in every way. After their wedding, Chinedu fulfilled a promise that changed Lola's life forever. He enrolled her in school. He encouraged her to study, pushing her to believe that she was capable of achieving great things. At first, Lola was overwhelmed. She was a woman in her late 20s, surrounded by students half her age, struggling to read and write, but she was determined to make the most of this second chance. Years passed, and Lola's hard work paid off. She completed her studies with top marks and was admitted into medical school. Despite the challenges, she persevered, supported every step of the way by her loving husband. Finally, after many years of dedication, Lola graduated as a doctor, her head held high with pride. Meanwhile, Simeon's life was falling apart. Her marriage to Tomi had turned bitter. Despite her education, Tomi was arrogant and cruel. She constantly berated Simeon, and their home was filled with quarrels. She disrespected him in public, just as he had done to Lola, and treated him with contempt. Simeon was no longer the confident man he once was. He was reduced to a shadow of himself. One day, Simeon fell ill. Desperate for help, he went to the hospital. There, to his shock, he was met by none other than Dr. Lola, his former wife. Lola was now a renowned doctor, respected and admired. She had come too far from the woman he had once discarded. Simeon, ashamed and broke, could hardly speak as Lola approached him. There was no trace of the timid, uneducated woman he had once belittled. She was poised and confident, a testament to the strength and determination she had always carried within her. Without a word, Lola treated Simeon with the same care she gave all her patients. Though the past had been painful, she had no bitterness. Her heart had healed, and she was at peace. She had found her worth, not through anyone else, but through her own effort and the love of a man who believed in her. As Simeon left the hospital that day, he realized gravity of his mistake. He had lost the true gem in his Lola in his life. Lola had risen from the pain, while he was left to suffer the consequences of his pride and cruelty. His new wife eventually left him, and he was left alone. A sad reminder of how easily life could turn against those who fail to appreciate what they have. For Lola, life had come full circle. She had overcome the darkest days of her past and emerged stronger, smarter, and more compassionate than ever. Now, with a loving husband, Chinedu by her side, he knew that her true worth had never been in her education, but in her heart, her spirit, and her determination to rise above every challenge.